Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite team in the Bay Area. On today's episode, we have a catastrophic, no other way to explain it, loss, a 5-point night from the captain, and have the Sharks found something in Mikey Eyssimont. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin, RIP, and San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch this on YouTube as well. And let me pour one out to all my Niners friends. I feel bad for you guys. I do apologize. I know it's tough. It's tough. So maybe if you're seeking refuge from the heartbreak, please come into a terrible tank team where you have no expectations. So before we dive into the craziness that was this weekend, I do want you to know that today's episode is brought to you guys by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. And the Sharks had a very eventful weekend as they finished up their road trip and finished up their games before the All-Star break. They don't play again until I think it's the 7th or 8th. I think it's the Tuesday after the All-Star break. So plenty of time here. But Friday night, I think we have to start there. Giving up 2 goals in less than 2 minutes and then losing that game in overtime to the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know, man. The first thing I thought of was the game against the Capitals when that happened. I think that was the 18-19 season, somewhere around there. But one of those years where they basically did like the exact same thing of scoring an empty netter and then proceeding to lose the game. That is that's something. And I think that's kind of how the season has gone, right? This team has shown that they can play with a lot of teams, right? The Hurricanes are a really good team, and the Sharks, kind of played it with them for most of this game. And then the wheels came off type of situation. So, like the shots are relatively close in that game. The penalty, is just the little things for the Sharks. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anytime something goes wrong for them, it's just naturally the most catastrophic way for things to go wrong for them. And that was just another example on Friday night of them having a lead and blowing a lead like that. You thought Mario Ferraro gets the empty netter, feeling pretty good about yourself. The team's got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. And then just everything melts down from them. And you just don't know where to point to other than this team. Like I said, anytime something goes bad, it's just catastrophically bad for them. So, like I said, 5-on-5, the shots attempts were 50-44 in favor of the Hurricanes, right? Scoring chances were 22-22. High danger chances were 12-8 in favor of the Hurricanes. Expected goals for was 2.26 to 1.99. Like the Sharks, they were relatively even teams, and the Sharks just shot themselves in the foot, which is what they tend to do. Let's dig into the lines a little bit for this game. So the lines have been really weird with guys being ill and everything like that. And they've been trying to shuffle in new guys and stuff. So the LeBanc Hurdle Meyer line played 15-18 of time on ice. 10 shot attempts for 13 allowed. Actual shots was 5-6. And didn't really produce much in the offensive, not like we typically see from them. Hurdle has been a little not great lately, and I wonder if he's dealing with something or if he's sick or something. So hopefully maybe this time off right now can help let him kind of get healthy, and we can see the Tomas Hurdle of old after the break. But a little worrisome with Hurdle right now. Just the past couple weeks here just has not been the same Hurdle that we know and love. So Barabanov, Couture, Eyssimont, 10-28, 8 shot attempts for, 6 allowed. Actual shots was 3-4, and then 6 scoring chances for, 3 allowed, 2 high danger chances, 3 allowed. So Mikey Eyssimont, put a pin in that. We'll get to him a little bit here. Noah Gregor, Nico Sturm, and Nick Benino, 9:54 time on ice. 11 shot attempts, gave up 16. It's not good. Not good, Mijo. 6 shot attempts for, 6 shot attempts. Actual shots on goal, was 6-6. 0.8 expected goals for. So they did produce solid expected goals for, at least in that. But giving up that many shot attempts, usually not a recipe for success. So scoring chances 6-8 in favor of the Canes and 4-3 in favor of that line as well. And then the Lindblom, Lawrence Svechnikov, 636, 7-7, 4-3 shot attempts for, had a goal and gave up a goal as well. Reimer in this game, all situations. 36 shot attempts, 31 saves, gave up 5 goals. Expected goals against was 3.33, 861 save percentage, 492 goals against. 12. He faced 12 high danger shots, made 9 high danger saves. That's kind of, that's okay. This part though, 9 mid danger, 7 mid danger saves, gave up 2 mid danger goals. That's where you probably want Reimer to kind of step up for a little bit for you there. 12 low danger shots against, 12 low danger saves. So, I mean, we all watched this team just, again, hopefully this is just a 1-year aberration for this team where they just continually get kicked in the groin whenever something. It's like Lucy pulling the football away from Charlie Brown, and the Sharks are Charlie Brown right now, where they just, anytime it feels like they're about to have something nice, they just get it yanked away from them. And hopefully this is just an in-season thing, and then the Sharks can maybe get a little lucky in the off season with some ping pong balls, and then maybe the franchise's fortunes might turn around there. But I mean, yeah, that's a game you have to close out. And I know the Hurricanes are a really good team. They are a genuine cup contender for a reason, but you had them on the ropes and you had a chance to win this game, and then you lose it and you still get a loser point out of it. Now that's the kind of the worst case scenario is if you're not going to win the game, at least don't get the loser point. And they got the loser point, and that's what's been killing the Sharks this year. They actually have the least amount of wins in the NHL, but they just keep getting these loser points. They had 11 overtime losses now. So it's 11 points that they've added to their points for no reason. And yeah, so if they didn't have all those, if they had half of those, the Sharks are sitting there right there at the bottom of the basement in the standings. But yeah, those loser points. So before we continue, we talk about the Pittsburgh game and then kind of the craziness that was that game. Do want to take a quick break, talk to you guys about our friends over at Athletic Greens. New year, new me. You want to kind of take care of yourself. You want some better gut health, more energy, an optimized immune system. That's where Athletic Greens comes in with their AG1. Basically, 8 ounces of water, scoop of AG1, shake it up, drink it before you have your morning coffee, and you're good to go. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help get your day started right. Great thing about it, lifestyle friendly. So if you're keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, it doesn't matter. They have you covered there. Contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, and still tastes good. I think it has a little bit of a dark chocolate taste to it. That's just me personally. It's also less than $3 a day. So, which is way cheaper than going to the store and buying all the supplements yourself. So they're making it really easy for you right now. Head over to athleticgreens.com/NHL network. They're going to give you a 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Again, just visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health. Pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Okay, the Penguins game where the Sharks won this game 6-4. And we got to start with Logan Couture, who was a monster that game. 2 goals, 3 primary assists. And Logan Couture has finally, we have found Logan Couture some line mates. It has been a revolving door of players for poor Couture the past couple of years. You know, the Balsers, RIP Rudy. Just got put on waivers again today. RIP Rudy. Balsers, you know, Noah Gregors, we know the Nick Boninos, but it looks like we might have found something with Eyssimont, Barabanov, and Couture, which not too bad, I think. So, but Logan Couture, though, like I said, 5 points. First time in his career he's had a game like this. 2 goals, including the seals it at the end with the empty, or the last 2 goals, right? The game-winning goal, and then seals it at the end with the empty netter there to make it 6-4. I like Couture's played pretty solid this year. Like it's kind of crazy. He's kind of turned back the clock, and I think it's finding him competent line mates. I mean, no man can do this all by himself, and for him, I think it's really helped having some competent line mates. And Eyssimont and Barabanov right now seem to be those guys for him. You know, for the Sharks, this was a game where they actually like kind of sneakily like beat the brakes off the Penguins. And if it wasn't for special, like the Sharks got crushed in the special teams, but won the 5-on-5, which is not how I expected this game to go. So 5-on-5, like the shot attempts favor the Penguins, right? 65-55. Shots on goal, 35-38, but high danger chances, 22-21 for the Sharks. The expected goals for 3.62 to 2.98. So like they were getting those quality chances, you know, and kind of making the most of it, and just sitting in front of Casey DeSmith and just kind of pounding him with shots right there. And that was kind of the recipe for success. They got, like I said, the special teams was atrocious in this game, giving up a shorthanded and giving up 2 power play goals. That's usually a recipe for disaster, right? But they kind of overcame it, and their 5-on-5 play was good enough for them. And you have to kind of point to the Gregor Hurdle Meyer line, like that. There was just a lot of chaos when when that line was on. 13:28 time on ice, 18 shot attempts, and gave up 22. So that's 40 shot attempts when in like less than 14 minutes when that line was on the ice. So just insane craziness with them. But extra shots was 5-9, 0.78 expected goals for. There was a lot of offense in this game. This was definitely a stuff the stat sheet type of game. 11-13 in scoring chances, like tons and tons of offense this game. Barabanov, Couture, Eyssimont. Now these numbers are going to sound very Hurdle Meyer-esque. 8:39 time on ice, which is a little low. It seemed like it's probably because of a lot of the special teams, but 8:30 seemed a little low compared to how much it felt like they were on the ice. But 17 shot attempts, gave up 7. Actual shots was 12-4, 3 goals, 1.4 expected goals for, 0.19 expected goals allowed, 12 scoring chances to 3, 8 high danger chances to 0. And they had 8 defensive zone starts. So they were doing the work of shutting it down in their defensive zone and then going and creating offense. And you have to, the way this line is kind of built of, we know Barabanov's transition game, we know Barabanov's passing, we know Couture, he's going to be hard to the net, right? That's what Couture does. That's how he scores. And Eyssimont just kind of adds that X factor of being able to kind of fly around. He's like what you were hoping to get out of Luke Cunnin without having to give a third round pick. Like that's what you were hoping to get out of Luke Cunnin. And Michael Eyssimont has done that for free. You grabbed him off the waiver wires and you might have found some gold. You might have struck gold here with Michael Eyssimont. I know small sample size, et cetera, but you've put him in a position to succeed with good line mates with Barabanov and Couture. And I think you have yourself something for the immediate future right now between the Barabanov, Couture, Eyssimont line. So Eysimont's an RFA. The Sharks are, he's going to be reasonable to control, like cost controlled for the next couple of years. So we will look into that a little bit more. But again, the Sharks, they might have found something here. Barabanov 2.0, just finding something for free and turning it into a useful piece. So I'm not expecting, it'd be funny if the Sharks traded him at the trade deadline. You picked him up off the waiver wires and you turned him into something. That'd be really hilarious. But I don't think people are going to be calling for Mike Eyssimont. But the Sharks have found something right now and just let it ride right now. So Lindblom, Nick Bonino, Nico Sturm. Sturm did leave the game in the third period. He took a kind of a nasty hit. But again, with so much time until they don't play it until the 7th. So we'll kind of see it. We won't know anything until early in that week. So that Monday most likely is when they're probably all going to get back together and start practicing again. So I would expect just to kind of be in the dark on this until it gets closer to actual games again. So I guess they would get back to that Sunday because they're going to have to fly. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, that line kind of got caved in. 2 shot attempts, gave up 12. Actual shots was 1-8. Did give up a goal. Didn't produce much offense and had the worst defense and expected goals allowed. Did, again, have 8 defensive zone starts, so kind of stuck on their own end a lot. Yeah, and then Gadovich, Lawrence, Svechnikov, pretty solid night from them, I think, too. 6:57 time on ice, 9 shot attempts allowed, 9 shot attempts, 4-7 allowed. Actual shots was 3-4 in favor of the Penguins. Didn't provide too much in the way of expected offense, but 5 scoring chances, 4-5 allowed, 3 high danger chances, 5 allowed. So, kind of did what they do. I do like Gadovich's kind of energy and the grittiness he brings again. If you're going to be a face puncher, at least be able to do something else. And I think Gadovich does that. So Kaapo Kahkonen was facing an onslaught that night. I'm trying to pull it up right now. He had 16 high danger shots, made 13 saves. So 41 shots, 37 saves, 4 goals allowed, 4-1 expected goals against at all situations. 902 save percentage, 867 high danger save. Mid danger 13-11, gave up 2 there and then had 11 low danger. But how many times, especially in that third period where he made some massive saves when the Penguins were really pushing to try, to tie it up. He made some huge saves for the Sharks while they were trying to refine their game. And I thought, Kaapo Kahkonen, I thought he had I know the numbers don't look pretty. This was one of those games where it was kind of a throwback and let's just score. Everyone scores. Let's have a lot of fun, which are really fun games to watch. But I thought Kaapo Kahkonen made some monster saves, especially at the beginning of that third period, to keep the Sharks in this game and to let them, how many times have we seen Kaapo Kahkonen not make a save there and then it kind of snowballs? And I thought he made some big saves when the Shark couldn't find some offense to start the third period. So really good start game, I thought, from Kaapo Kahkonen, even though he gave up 4 goals. But that Penguins offense was, like I said, he was facing it. He was under siege all night. So before we continue, I want to talk a little bit more about Michael Eyssimont. And again, the Sharks might have found something. So before we do that, do want to take a quick break, talk to you guys about our friends over at FanDuel. So big game is here, guys. If if you guys, spoiler, we have the Chiefs and the Eagles playing in the Super Bowl. This year, the only app you need at the Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And we're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they're the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. Download FanDuel right now so you can get Super Bowl 57 with no sweat first bet. That's a $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. That's pretty crazy. FanDuel lets you bet on anything from the money line to point spread to who will score their first touchdown. Right now, I think the Eagles are minus 1.5. I like Mahomes. Mahomes is really good. So we'll see. I'm just saying Mahomes plus. That's right now. That's where I'm leaning. So we'll see. We still have a couple weeks. So FanDuel Sportsbook is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, I get paid all your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today at FanDuel.com/lockedon to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, so I want to talk a little bit more about Eyssimont and just kind of the Sharks' strategy going forward and trying to find these kind of diamonds in the rough. And, we're going to probably see more guys kind of hitting the waiver wire as teams are trying to make some flexibility going forward, especially heading into the trade deadline, right? We know everybody's kind of maxed out on contracts and they're maxed out on cap space. And don't be surprised to see guys maybe that you wouldn't expect hit the waiver wire. And I wonder how Mike Grier is going to kind of approach this again, just kind of that panning for gold to try to find somebody who can help this team kind of now and in the short-term future. Again, none of these guys I'm expecting to be like revelations when they come in, right? They're not going to come in and save the franchise and stuff. But a guy like Eyssimont, who looks like a legitimate middle six forward for, I think, a lot of teams. Again, you found him for free from the Winnipeg Jets, who the Winnipeg Jets are a very, very good team. One of the best teams in the West right now. And, didn't really kind of fit into their, I think Eyssimont kind of a middle six guy, and he didn't really kind of fit into what their role that they needed him to be, which was more of a bottom six type of player. I think Mike Grier is going to be continuing to kind of, like I said, looking for these type of players who can kind of come in, play a role for the Sharks. And again, if you need to move on from them, it's not going to kill you to move on from them. Like if Mikey Eyssimont went on the waiver wire and somebody claimed him, are you going to, yes, you're going to be like, that sucks. But 6 months from now, are you going to remember who Mikey Eyssimont is type of thing, So I think I want to see how Mike Grier is continuing to try to kind of churn the bottom of the roster here and see which guys can be potential fits for the Sharks for the next couple of years, right? Finding the Barabanov, anti-Suomela for Barabanov trade a couple years ago. Suomela, there was no way Barabanov was going to be cracking the Maple Leafs lineup, right? You traded a guy in anti-Suomela who's not even in the NHL anymore, right? He is over in the SHL now, and you found a useful piece out of it. So that is my goal for Mike Grier, is to continue to try to kind of find some of these pieces that can supplement your lineup until your Eklunds, your Bordelos, your 2023 first round pick, some of these guys who are going to be your next pieces. How can you find them without having to cost a lot, right? Going back to the Luke Cunnin trade, giving up a third round pick for a guy, and I know Cunnin tore up his knee and that sucks, and et cetera, et cetera. Again, would you rather have Mikey Eyssimont that you found for free that's making vet min, or would you rather have Luke Cunnin, which you traded a third round pick and then you're paying $2.5 million for? Give me Eyssimont with the cheaper contract. So and you didn't have to, cheaper contract, and you didn't have to give up a 3rd round pick. So I want to see how the Sharks continue to try to be aggressive on, especially working the waiver wire. And if you got to cut some guys, go, like if Svechnikov, Noah Gregor, some of these guys who are Noah Gregor's played better recently, but like if you got to throw them out there and they see if they get caught on the waiver, or somebody picks them up on the waiver wire, then like, okay, it's fine. If not, send them down to the CUDA. They can help that CUDA team, which the Sharks' focus right now is the Barracuda. And guess what? It should be the Barracuda, right? If you're not going to call up Eklund and Bordeleau, then you need to make that Barracuda team as good as possible, so that way they can go through like an actual playoff series and not just be happy to make the playoffs, but go into a playoff series expecting to win a playoff series. So Sharks season's done. It's toast. It's ride it out until the season's over. Focus should be on the Barracuda. In Mike Grier, it looks like that's his focus. How can I make the San Jose Barracuda the best possible team I can right now? With the hope that putting Bordeleau, Eklund, Robbins, Ozzy, all these guys into competent winning hockey for the rest of the season, going into a playoff series where the expectation is that you're not just happy to be there, but you're there to win playoff games and give these guys a taste of real winning experience, real winning hockey. That frankly, the Sharks, we haven't seen winning hockey in San Jose in a while. So Shark season's toast. Let's focus on the Barracuda, make that team as good as possible, keep churning that waiver wire. So, and the Sharks might have found something in Eyssimont. So, yes, that's going to be it for me today. We will be back tomorrow. Have an Adam Fantilli draft profile. So, very excited about that. It's very well done. Good friend of the show, Hattie from Locked On NHL Prospects joins me. So, we deep dive into Adam Fantilli and why he is really, really, really good at hockey. So, So follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. You follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. I'm going to be heavy Barracuda right now because the Barracuda are playing games and the Sharks are not. So probably try to do a Barracuda-centric episode this week. And I got some other stuff for you guys planned as well for this week. So listen, of course, wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. You can watch on YouTube. And until tomorrow, bye, friends.